Hello and welcome back to True Crime Guys podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and of course I brought Andy.
I feel like I'm actually comfortable in this chair once. I feel like maybe it's just the indent I've kind of just eventually pressed into it now. But
Yeah.
it's like an old rainbow shoe. It just molded to my body like a good pair of Birkenstocks.
That's right. Good pair of Birkenstocks. Oh my God. Well, Andy, I thank you for being here, even though you can't leave. I still thank you for being here. But guys, if you're listening to this episode, I must inform you that you could have heard it yesterday on Patreon, patreon.com/truecrimeguys, and you could have heard it ad-free with some bonus content, some bonus chit-chat that me and Andy just got done having. That we usually throw at the end of the episode.
No chit-chat back and forth?
A little chit-chat, that kind of stuff.
So just the banter back and forth?
Yeah, just a little banter. That's all it is. Again, guys, that's patreon.com/truecrimeguys. Links right below the description of this episode. Also, don't forget, you can check out new episodes of Strange and Unexplained wherever you listen to podcasts on Monday, and videos are available as well for Strange and Unexplained. Isn't that right, Andy?
On the YouTubes.
On the YupTubs. Go on there. Make sure you subscribe to True Crime Guys. But last week on this podcast, True Crime Guys, we talked the ayahuasca murders.
Exactly. Remember when ayahuasca was killing people?
I do not.
Oh, wait. I think we talked about something else.
Yeah. But it's a Canadian man who murdered an 81-year-old shaman in the Peruvian jungle before being brutally murdered by villagers who took justice into their own hands. And of course, ayahuasca is in the center of all this. She was a shaman, the 81-year-old that he killed, and she was guiding his ayahuasca trips. And I'm sure guiding him in a lot of ways in life. I mean, she was a very wise woman.
They were trying to start a business together, him and her son, correct, too? They were trying to start some kind of like ayahuasca tourism thing. Come down to Peru and take trips with this shaman.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They got a little bad blood. But anyways, check that out, guys. The ayahuasca murders. Very, very interesting episode. But today, Andy, we are talking about an extremely interesting case that is still fueling quite a bit of debate today. And that is the... I wouldn't call it a strange death of Tucker Hips.
But it is an unsolved case still. It is still like one of those ones. We don't normally cover many unsolved cases on this one.
We don't. But it is technically unsolved. Yeah. Tucker Hips, he was pledging the beta chapter of Sigma Phi Epsilon at Clemson University when 3 brothers and 27 pledges, including Tucker, went on an early morning run across the Highway 93 bridge at 5:30 a.m. on September 22nd, 2014. And what happened on that day is up for speculation. There are lots of theories, and all of them honestly seem equally plausible. That's why I wanted to pick this case, Andy. I feel like I'm interested to hear what you think. I got a few opinions of my own. Disclaimer, I'm not a fan of fraternities. I'm not even a fan of colleges, actually. I have never even considered being part of a fraternity. But I'm trying to look at this with an open mind because, a lot of people like to stick the hazing sticker on this, like a wrongful hazing death. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, fraternities have gotten a bad rap in the past. There's been a lot. There's been some hazing accidents. There's been some parties. There's been a lot of things that have been in the past.
Sexual assault.
Yeah, there's been some things that have given fraternities and the Greek life a bad rep over the years. For sure. That's one of the reasons why all the theories in this case are so plausible. It's this actually could be a lot of different things.
So let's start, I guess, as close to the beginning as we possibly can. Tucker was only 19 years old when he passed. So, he lived about as full a life as a 19-year-old could live.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was a pledging a fraternity. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. He was born June 5th, 1995, in Greenville, South Carolina. Not too far from us, Andy.
No, neither is Clemson. I mean, this is pretty close to us all around. So.
Absolutely. He was 19 years old at the time. He was attending Clemson University. This took place in 2014. Okay, his parents are Cindy and Gary Hips, and there are a couple quotes from them throughout the episode we'll talk about. But Tucker, he was described as having a passion for helping others. He was a senior counselor at Palmetto Boys State, and now there's actually a scholarship in his name. Actually, he loved taking photos with his girlfriend, which is pretty obvious because there's a shit ton of them on the internet.
Yeah.
But that's good for his parents, though.
This is early days of social media.
Yes, they got to really appreciate all the pictures that he took, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Living such a short life.
I would say early days. This was 10 years ago, and I still feel like that was...
a whole decade ago. Andy.
Yeah, I still feel like I was like... Well, I was thinking about 2014. It's like I was in college at this time. I actually had a friend at Clemson at this time. So it's like, I was like, well, how long ago was this? It's like, this was like 10 years ago. It's like, social media was just starting. No, it wasn't. Actually, no, it wasn't. Damn it. No, I'm actually much older than I think I am. Damn it.
That old reminder.
Yeah, damn it, no.
Yeah. But Tucker was also very athletic. He played soccer, baseball, football, basketball. And like I said, there's really not a lot out there about Tucker.
Yeah.
Already. And this is, from his parents. I've watched every damn video with his parents, read about every article I could find. It's just, there's not a lot out there, but I feel like there needs to be more attention brought to this case because personally, I think this happens way more often than we know about.
Mm-hmm.
And you can jump on a few Reddit pages and it's not long before you're hearing a lot of testimonies about very similar things.
Yeah.
And it happens way more often. I think it's a bigger issue than just Tucker.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really is.
I was going to say, remember when we were looking up some of the research for this case, there was an attempt at a documentary that was supposed to be made about Tucker.
Yeah.
And
they never got the funding.
No,
right?
It was like a crowd-funded documentary. And there was I think it was like a GoFundMe or one of those Kickstarter projects. It was a full documentary for this case, and it didn't meet the goal. So it was like there's other people who have thought the same thing. It's like, this needs more attention. Like, we need to actually bring more attention to this. So
Absolutely. So let's set the scene here. On that day, Tucker was pledging the beta chapter of the Sigma Phi Epsilon, like I mentioned earlier at Clemson, and there were 27 other pledges there. He was the captain of the pledges. What was the term?
The pledge class president, the PCP?
Pledge class president. He was, indeed. And there were also 3 brothers from the Sigma Phi Epsilon with the pledges that day. Okay? And this run was set to take place at 5:30 a.m., and they would run across Highway 93 bridge right around that time. And this was on September 22nd, 2014. So Tucker, as we mentioned, was the pledge class president, and he was told to bring 30 biscuits, 2 gallons of chocolate milk, and 30 hash browns to the run. That sounds like a good breakfast, Andy.
For like a bunch of people, but for
I think I could smash this myself in high school.
But this is one of those things. Like, listen, I will not lie. I love a good glass of chalky milk, and I'm not gonna be embarrassed about that.
Right before a run,
not right before a run.
Milk was a bad choice.
I've seen Anchorman. I'm not gonna drink a bunch of chocolate milk before a run. And yes, I'm sure there's gonna be some fitness people who would argue with me because I've heard the thing. It's like, chocolate milk is a good source of protein. It's good.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I'm not drinking a big glass of chocolate milk and a biscuit and then going to run.
Go on a run, dude.
Dude, it's like it's literally like that scene from Band of Brothers where it's like, let's eat a bunch of spaghetti and then go run the mountain. It's like,
bro,
fuck off.
That state of mind is not even that old, man. When I was in high school, 2007, 2008, my coach, before I would go out to pitch 7 innings, right? The whole team, he would feed us all out of the concession stand at the baseball field, right? Mm-hmm. We'd all go up there and sit together and eat. And you know what we would eat? Fucking hot dogs all the way, fucking cherry lemon sun drops, goddamn honey buns. I would eat that shit and go pitch 7 innings, bro.
Yeah, because you were in high school and you had the metabolism of a...
These kids are only 19.
Yeah, you had the metabolism of a mythical creature at that point. You were going out there eating like 4 chili dogs and throwing like a 2-hitter. All right? It's just...
It was good times, man. Good times. But anywho, okay, he was told to bring 30 biscuits, 2 gallons of chocolate milk, and 30 hash browns. Apparently, he forgot the biscuits. And as punishment, Tucker was forced to walk the railing of the bridge. Okay, this is one story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is on his obituary page, though. So, But the run was an event that would have been considered hazing under the policies of the National Sig Ep organization as well as under the rules of Clemson University. Now, so basically what they're saying is he was forced to walk on the railing and he slipped and fell
Something. Yeah, this is one of those kind of questionable things. It's like, well, you got, like, if it's in his obituary page, somebody admitted this was part of the story.
Eyewitness accounts, okay, that police interviewed stated that a boy was on the bridge railing, while 4 to 6 others were running beside him, yelling military-type commands.
Yeah, that right there, especially from people driving by or anything like that, that looks like hazing. It sounds like hazing, and it looks like hazing. If not, very aggressive bullying, even if you're in the ROTC. It's like you don't have a group running around you doing that. It's like if you're in the ROTC or something like that, yeah, you might have your drill sergeant running beside you, but not up on the railing of a bridge. You might have your drill sergeant running beside you because you fucked up and like, kind of chanting at you.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna have your whole platoon around you or your whole group running and yelling at you.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that seems odd, huh?
Maybe they were hazing.
Well, they were probably really mad about those biscuits.
Well, at least they had their chalky milk.
You forgot the biscuits, dude. You brought chocolate milk and hash browns.
Listen, we've had worse. These are fraternity brothers. Their standard should be lower. All right.
I agree. All right, Andy. So let's go over the rest of the facts. Okay, the things we do know before we get into the theories of what could have possibly happened to Tucker. Okay, Tucker was discovered missing before 7 a.m. Because he didn't report to the fraternity breakfast, and his phone and his keys were found in the brothers' instructed location to leave them. Okay, they had told him, leave your phone, leave all your personal stuff here. It'll be here for you when you come back.
Yeah.
Tucker's was still there the next day after breakfast. The pledges started looking for Tucker around 7 a.m., but did not report him missing. A call was made to campus police by one of the brothers at approximately 1:45 p.m., and he was asking for information concerning Tucker, but did not want to file a missing persons report. So here's that call, Andy. So let's listen to this and see what you think. I'm interested to hear your opinion.
Clemson University Police and Fire.
Hi, I'm calling to see if early this morning or some point today y'all picked up a 19-year-old guy, like brown hair. He's like my buddy. I'm looking for him.
We haven't arrested anybody today.
No, not like an arrest. Just like picked him up.
What do you mean picked up?
I don't know, like just like off the side of the road or something.
No, we don't just pick up people off the side of the road. The only thing we do is if we have an arrest or if we have to send medics after somebody.
Okay.
Where was the last place you seen your buddy?
We went for a run this morning.
Do he live on campus?
No, he lives in Aspen Heights, but we went to his house. He wasn't there, so we're trying to find him.
Did you try his classes and his roommates? Was he sick or depressed or anything?
No, I don't know. We didn't think he was or anything. We don't want to file a report yet. I was just calling to see if y'all could help us out a little bit.
Have you called Clemson City to see if he has been arrested or picked up there, or?
No, see, he wouldn't be arrested for anything. That's not even a question.
Have you called Clemson City to see if their medics picked up anybody?
No,
or if they picked up anybody walking.
Next.
Where's Aspen Heights?
Down 123. No, it's down Old Greenville Highway, down past Lilo.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Call Clemson City. Let me transfer you to Clemson City. And you can find out if they had called medics to pick up anybody in case, he could have been sick, or if an officer saw him and gave him a ride somewhere.
The weird thing is that we have he left his phone in my place and his truck keys and everything. We have everything. We have no idea where he is.
Was he depressed?
No, not at all.
Nothing like that.
No, we just and we said there was a group of us, and we thought everybody made it back, and we realized it was late, and we realized that we have all this stuff. And
okay, when was the last time you saw him?
When we were running.
This morning.
Yeah.
Okay, and were you running on campus or off campus?
We started on campus, and we went across. We went down what's that road called? I guess that's Old Greenville Highway too. We were going towards Seneca, down by the lake.
Okay.
And we were just running down that road, and we went to the bridge and came back.
Okay, on Highway 93, going to the YMCA area?
Yeah.
Okay. And he was still with you then?
Yeah.
And then you came back?
Yeah.
And then where was the last point you saw him?
When we were running. Someone said that he was he was running with us, and he said like he was there, and then like we got back, and we thought everybody made it back, and we didn't. Like I didn't realize that he wasn't back, so I thought he was, and we're like where's he at, and like no one knows where he is, like because like I said, I have his cell phone, I have his car keys, truck, everything.
Okay. Did you backtrack?
Yeah, we went and ran the entire area. We like went to the woods and everything.
And no signs of him?
No.
Okay, what is his name? So that way, in case we get a medic call or anything.
I don't really want to do a report yet.
No, I'm not saying a report. I'm saying if I have to dispatch out medics because he was sick somewhere, I can know that we need to contact you. Because
his name's Tucker Hips.
Okay, do you want to leave your name and number or anything in case we...
Yeah, you can leave my name and number.
Okay, what's your name and number?
My name's Campbell Starr.
Yeah, that guy, he sounds... you want to say it's just ignorance. It's youthful ignorance. It's like, why would you not call hospitals? Why would you call the police to see if they picked him up? It's like, why... They'd be like, well, we don't want to like report, like do like a missing persons report.
Or
like,
maybe they thought that the police would know more about a dead body than anyone else.
You almost feel, and this is pure speculation.
Oh, of course, all of this.
Almost like they called the police to see if anybody reported finding anything.
Exactly. And the way he's stuttering through the call, man, it's just... And the way he just keeps repeating the same stuff. But you find that a lot, though, when you listen to 911 calls. People they're actually in duress. You know, whether he's lying or whether he's really worried about his friend. Either way, it could be the same physical emotions, speak the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was trying really hard to not give any information or any indication that he knew anything.
Yeah, like don't give the name. Don't give like where he may have been.
But Tucker was found floating in Lake Hartwell, just under the bridge at approximately 3:30 p.m. After one of the brothers led campus police to his whereabouts. It was noted earlier Tucker was wearing blue tennis shoes. Discovery of his body in the lake did find blue tennis shoes showing out of the water with much of the remainder of his body submerged. So one of the brothers did end up leading the police out there. Okay?
I feel like they probably just led them. Did they lead them to the spot, or did they take the police on the run? Like, this is the path we ran on.
Yeah.
This is where we got to. And then it's like, when they got to there, it's like, then did the police be like, well, let's go look down there.
Yeah, exactly. So. But no one has ever been arrested or charged in the death of Tucker Hips. And, you know, honestly, I don't think anyone in particular should be held responsible because most likely it's a group thing. Now, I did read in one article that one eyewitness account, just one, said that he had an altercation with somebody on the bridge.
One of the brothers, at least, or one of the other people he was running with?
One of the other people he was running with, whether it be a pledge, whether it be a brother, I have no idea.
Yeah, not just a passerby. Yeah.
I don't think this level, like let's say another pledge got into a fight or something with Tucker and pushed him over the edge, right? I don't think the already pledged brothers are gonna, uphold this code of silence for this person who's technically not even a part of the fraternity yet. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you would think for this type of a code of silence, if they do know anything, it would have to be because a brother fucked up. Maybe he pushed it a little too far. It made a much bigger splash than they planned.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Because Clemson was investigated by the national office for hazing. And I've from what I can read, they've cracked down on it. But, I mean, what all can they do, really?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
They've been saying that every college has been cracking down on hazing
cracking
for
down
years.
on hazing, man. But Tucker's dad, Gary, here's a quote from him that I wanted to put here at the end of the show. He says, "When you have youth and autonomy, it's a tragedy waiting to happen." And he called their code of silence misguided allegiance.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, it is, but I think it's less of this brotherly code. And it's more so that all these guys are men now. They're 10 years older. They're 29. Okay, these guys, at minimum they're 29. The brothers are older than that.
Yeah.
Right. They're into their 30s. Okay, these guys have a lot to lose if they come forward at this point in their lives. If they ain't come forward yet on a conscience, bro, they good with it.
They had a lot to lose then.
Exactly.
Yeah, being fresh out of high school, going to college, pledging a fraternity. It's like, and then something like this happens.
And going to prison?
It's like that might derail your whole life.
That ain't on nobody's plan. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think somebody knows something.
Yeah.
But to play devil's advocate here to the way that we've been alluding to this whole episode, I did find a Reddit post from a Clemson alumni, okay, self-proclaimed, obviously, and a 4-year fraternity member at Clemson.
Yeah, they did not go in to say which fraternity.
They did not.
Say that. They would say they were a fraternity member.
But this, I'll say it was insightful, and I feel like it's an honorable mention. I think I should add it in the episode. So here it is, verbatim. It states, I'm a Clemson alumni. I graduated last year, and I'm willing to say that I was in a fraternity all 4 years I was in Clemson. I will not give the identity of the fraternity, blah, 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 blah. It says, I lived with geology and the forest science majors for 2 years, and they constantly told me how shitty Lake Hartwell is because of the pollution and low water level. Me and buddies always tried to fish in Hartwell, and over the years noticed it had gotten severely low. Okay, so that's a little insight on the river.
Mm-hmm. On the area around, yeah.
Exactly, on the lake, rather. So they go on to say, if I had bet my money on what happened based on my fraternity's traditions, Clemson's fraternity atmosphere, and the story itself, this is how I see it. Sig Ep has probably done a run that includes a jump off the bridge into Hartwell as part of pledging for a very long time. My fraternity had a similar run, but we never jumped off a bridge. We did a run and swam through a body of water. In December, water was 35 degrees. But with the lake being so low, you would think that they would be smart enough to skip the jump. But all it takes is that one brother to say, no, I had to do the jump. We've been doing the jump for 15 years. We're doing the jump. It's fucking tradition, bruh. So they proceed with the run and with the jump as planned. I cannot confirm this, but I had heard that Tucker was the pledge class president. So he definitely either went first or last. If he went first, everyone saw and they would have tried to do something. Or not, I have no idea. But I don't think he went first. What would make more sense is if he went last, making sure all his pledge brothers made it and then he went. While everyone is swimming through and trying to finish the run, they could have forgotten to look back. The pledges finish the run, they're exhausted, they just want to go to sleep. After some time passes, things don't seem right and no one knows where Tucker is. In the moment, they could have said, forget it, we'll find him later, we're almost there. They had probably been up all night, as this happened in the early stages of the morning. You'd be very surprised what a lack of sleep can do to your mind and senses. I don't necessarily think there was serious foul play, just a poor choice by Sig Ep to go through with their tradition that should have been adjusted due to Hartwell's low water level.
Yeah.
And then he says pure estimated speculation.
Again, that's pure speculation of him even saying that he thinks they may have had a tradition that included a jump. You wouldn't you wouldn't say that unless you had heard from somebody in that fraternity one time or heard through the grapevine that one of these fraternities had a hazing tradition that involved jumping off that bridge. We also saw another interview. One of the things we saw right before we talked about this was a news interview where the police were saying that maybe another theory was that maybe they were running, and if he was the pledge class president, maybe he was pulling up the rear. Maybe he was in the very back of the group, making sure everybody was going. And they talk about how there's between the two lanes on the bridge.
Okay, this is interesting. Yeah.
There is a median, or there's a gap between the two lanes.
Right.
And they were supposed to run all the way down the bridge, come across the median, and then run all the way back.
Right. You can only cross at the median.
So they could go down to the road, turn, cross, and then come back down the bridge. So the thought was that maybe if he was that far behind, if he was bringing up the rear, that maybe once everybody had gone past him, coming back down the bridge, what if he stood up on that railing, because there's one of those little 3-foot concrete barriers on both sides,
and tried to make the jump over.
And tried to jump. Now, it's an 8-foot gap. And now whether that you would, because you couldn't get a running start, you would have to do like a standing long jump of 8 feet.
Also, it doesn't line up with the eyewitness accounts of people shouting at him and stuff. while a kid is running on the railing.
Yeah.
Because it's like a concrete barrier. Like, you can walk on top of it.
Yeah, it's like the ones you would see on the side of the interstate. These big concrete barriers that go down the side. So, yeah, if they saw someone on top of that thing, whether or not he tried to jump to the other side or whether he fell, it's like, I don't think he would try to make that jump. And he's not an Olympic athlete. He's not jumping, standing long jump after running God knows how long and then making that leap. So it's like, I feel like the police threw that out there as like a theory to be like, maybe this was his decision. It was a dumb, impulsive
it's a theory, man.
Accident.
But if you got to pick one, what is it? If you got to, I mean, what do you think?
Oh man, I'm a pure speculation. I feel like there was some sort of an incident where he was getting a little extra hazing because maybe he forgot something, he fucked something up, and he was getting some embarrassment done to him. It's either nobody say anything or only like one person saw what happened, and then they just did not tell anybody that they even saw anything.
Like one person happened to be looking back and saw him slip off or something.
Yeah, it was like, or like one person who was like, the last person taunting him or something like that, and he fell. It's like, do they even say anything, or do they just catch up with the group?
Or like you act like you're going to trip him while you're up there, but you don't, but he compensates for it, and then he falls.
Mm-hmm. It's like, I feel like there may have been, I don't want to, it's pure speculation, but the way that guy put forward that call of saying like, I'm calling the police, but I don't want to I don't want to tell you who I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That's just it's so suspicious.
Here's what I think, right? I feel like it only matters at this point if one person is responsible for this. If there really was an altercation and somebody pushed him off that bridge, or if somebody even tripped him physically and made him fall off that bridge, that would be the only instance where I feel like somebody needs to pay for this. Mm-hmm. But it seems like everything else, if the group was doing it, everyone is doing it, this is just par for the course. This is just what these frat members do. And you know what? Sometimes that's the price you pay. Like if he died from freaking hazing, it's like he knew about the hazing. You know about that shit going in. I'm not trying to blame him. I'm just saying it's hard to hold all of them other ones responsible when they're just doing what they've always done. Literally the example that's been put before them.
And this was all been told.
Exactly. They're just doing what they're doing what everybody else is doing. They're doing what you would have done if you were a pledge at that time, at that place.
The peer pressure, the mentality,
exactly.
that herd mentality of everybody trying to, I don't want to be the one who says no. I don't want to be the one.
With that being said, I don't think they should pay a price today.
No.
Okay? If that is it. I think because if that is the case, they all living with that shit. Mm-hmm. Whether they say any something or not, that shit's got its own baggage. And also, what good does putting someone that's involved in an incident like that, what good does that do to put them in prison? It doesn't do anything. You're not going to stop hazing.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop people from doing this, joining fraternities and having clubs and all this shit and whatever the hell they want, initiations. You're not going to stop any of that. And these people aren't a danger to society, most likely. Now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that part of their life is completely over.
Yeah.
But if one person is responsible in any way that acted on their own,
yeah,
or was physically responsible for him going over the side of the bridge, then I think somebody should pay for it.
Yeah. I think if they could prove which ones were actually from, like, if they could prove which ones were on the bridge when this happened and which ones knew about it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there probably should be some jail time. Like you should have to pay, you should have to pay for this. Like you can't just go, you couldn't.
What are they paying for?
You're paying for the fact that it's like someone
that you didn't tell
someone lost their life, and if this was an accident,
yeah,
then you should have said it was an accident, and if it was a real accident, then no one really would have gotten charged, because that's what happened. Mm-hmm. Like if he was up there,
you don't think anyone gets charged?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like if he was up there on his own volition and he slipped and fell, then it's like that's an accident. But if these guys thought that, like, well, we'll get blamed for it because they'll think we were hazing him, so let's not say anything. It's like,
okay,
if there was just a bunch of guys taunting him, or he was up there like showing off or something like that, and then he fell, and then everyone was like,
I don't think they should pay for that, dude.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, do you guys you guys still should have said something back then because it was an accident. Even if it was his mistake.
Right. You would think somebody would say something if it was an accident. That's what lets you know it's not. That's why I picked this case.
Because it's one of those things.
I feel like there's something nefarious here. Somebody went a little overboard because of the biscuits or because of they didn't like him or
maybe he made the run go longer or
I don't know. I don't think it's simple. I think it was something more.
Yeah, you think there was something they were covering up. I feel like there was something suspicious. Like I said, that the way that 911 call went out, when it came out, and the fact that he was like so hesitant to give any information. It's like,
yeah, I think it's just one of those cases. It's always going to be unsolved. I don't think anybody who knows anything's coming forward, and they don't plan anytime soon.
Not anytime soon, at least.
Not anytime soon. But I'll tell you what you should do soon. You should check out Oh My Gaia.
Soon?
Very soon. As soon as possible. Right now even. Go to ohmygaia.com. Because Oh My Gaia is an innovative, all-natural deodorant, fragrance, and beard oil company specializing in paraben and aluminum-free products. Like I said, go to ohmygaia.com. That's ohmygaia.com. And there's tons of scents to choose from. And if you don't know where to start, you could start with True Crime Pine, made for yours truly. And Andy, of course.
I mean, it's on me right now.
Yeah. You got that beard oil on, don't you?
Every day, baby.
That's right. It's a great place to start. They got beard oil, scented oils, and deodorants, guys. And because you're True Crime Guys listeners, you can use the code word CREEPER, CREEPER, for 15% off your order. And that's at ohmygaia.com, ohmygaia.com. Make sure you give them a follow on Instagram as well, at shop_ohmygaia. You will not regret it, guys.
No, you will not. Your beard will be so smooth and smell so good. Oh, it's so nice.
Very nice. I'll tell you what else you won't regret. Joining Patreon. Because there is a shit ton of content on there. Patreon.com/truecrimeguys. Like I said, you could have heard this episode yesterday with bonus content and none of those pesky ads.
Oh.
We got to pay the bills. What are you going to do?
And me.
What are you going to do? Exactly.
You got to feed me at least.
Occasionally. But guys, check out that Patreon. Links to Patreon and Oh My Gaia and all of that good stuff right below the description of this episode. Make sure you check out truecrimeguys.com where you can find links to everything I plug every single episode, as well as links to our Spotify where we have all sorts of music. Make sure if you listen on Spotify to rate the show, answer survey questions and stuff. I know Spotify's doing that now. And they actually send those to us. When people answer the survey questions, they actually send them to us. So if you see that on there when you're listening to our show, fill it out. We want to know.
Yeah.
Tell us how we're doing.
Your opinions.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. But yeah, guys, make sure you rate the show wherever you can. We appreciate that very much. And leave a review. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and all that good stuff. But other than that, guys, we'll be back next week with a brand new True Crime Guys case. And until then, I guess you just have to keep on creeping on.
Bye.